One man less. Well, they've already made a very important. They've actually brought in the number 18 in place of Nani Akule, who was really worked hard in the midfield. And they realized that Kenya has started making inroads in the middle, and they made that very, very important call. They brought in a very, very tall Burhani Yassin in that midfield, and we'll see whether or not he can be able to keep the Kenya midfield at bay as well. One of the problems, Gilbert, that we probably have people talking about is maybe there's just too many midfielders in the Kenyan side as well. Yeah, and they really don't have defined roles because Eric Johanna is not really out of the task in the middle. Masud Juma right. We're also talking of Johanna Mono, who's playing right behind Masud Juma. But again, when they win possession, is not seeing into action. The only person who's moving forward is the captain, team captain. So they need to rejig that midfield because that's exactly where our biggest problem is. Well, again, it's going to be and on to KBC 2-1 as well. That is bringing you this much live from the Mojo National Sports Center, Kasarani. Group 3 African Cup of Nations qualification. The third match in each of them, with the Comoros leading the group with 4 points. Kenya is on 2 points from 2 draws. Uganda drew with Egypt and Togo. And then Egypt itself is in the third position because they've got only one goal. Having got in 2 draws as well, they have 2 points. And then Togo itself has drawn 1, lost 1. And so they have just 1 point and 2 goals out of that one. But what you might want to know is that first you look at the points and then you look at the goals for or against, you know who's going to be on top. The former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, the Right Honourable Raila Odinga, also made it to the stadium for this match, so it's being watched by a number of dignitaries here. The question is whether or not the Kenyan team can ride the wave to be able to get to the top of it, or whether or not the Comoran side will be able to get the better of the home team here. This is one man we've been talking about a lot, Samuel Omondo. But the question is whether or not he's a very big impact there. I fear that it's looking like there might be a substitution on the Kenyan side, but we're going to confirm that. This is David Oima, the man who applies his trade at Zesco United in Zambia. He seems to be coming in as a defender, of course. He's taking the place of Luande, who have the advantage of height here. But do you think David Oima will be able to withstand the high balls as well? Well, I think with the experience that David Oima has, I think he will definitely bring some stability in that defense line. Having played to the national team for quite a while. President in a very offensive group. We're back into the game now. The second 45 minutes of the Total Africa Cup of Nations qualification. Live for you on KBC Channel 1 is Cotton with KBC. And we'll see whether or not the Kenyan side will make amends for what they did wrong in the first half. Remember, the Comoros side has got to do 110% each to be able to just stay in the game. Eric Ouma tries to push this one in. The difficult thing has been the passing game, but do you think that will change in the second half? Well, they have to change that. They have to change that. They have to be precise whenever they make the passes. They're not connecting the dots. They are losing balls in very prime areas, trying to bypass the defense line by playing those long balls that have been well read and intercepted by the Comoros. Bringing it back onto the right side, and then a turn for a cross on the left foot. Again, it's just going to be maybe what here is an attempt by Masud Juma for foot. Very half-hearted, not very well calculated as well. As the Wildcats will pick it up again. Was there a foul there? Yes, there was a foul. That's a new man in that team, in jersey number 18. Burhani Yassin, he's been stopped by a team that was really enjoying it off a team that doesn't really take anything from anyone. He holds his own in that game, doesn't he? Battle Royale. Well, he really does hold his own ground in the battle, see.
Well, he's not been a pushover. He's really been a pain in the thorn in the flesh for
for Rambo Stars, especially on that left-hand side. The biggest problem with the Rambo Stars is that we barely had any meaningful attack up front, and this calls for probably a change. We have two very busy strikers, John Abira and John Makwata on our bench, that Box can easily use to come and turn things around.
Well, let's see if he's going to do that. But at the moment, the compliments would give to the Comoros side for holding their own, playing one man less. Yeah, they seem to be getting involved in the assistant says it's got to be redone. It was not from the position that was expected. But yes, the Coalicans seem to be losing a little bit of their composure at the moment and committing those tiny little unnecessary fouls. It's a free kick to Kenya's Harambee Stars. Derek Ouma tries to chip it into the area. An easy touch here. The goalkeeper will not have any problems picking on that one. He's been able to save a good number of shots before. There may be a good number of players who are putting in a very good quality in the game, Gilbert, but the goalkeeper certainly would be the man of the first half, wouldn't he?
Of course, Hamada Ali, very, very experienced goalkeeper, has been the most sought after player on that pitch where they are around the Stars. Most of the balls have actually pinpoint shots, and they have been very legible up to this point so far.
Well, back into the midfield then for Kenya's Harambee Stars. Looking for an option to get out from, forced to backpedal a bit. Oh, Brian Mandela is the man who's trying to hold the defense together. As Eric Ouma picks up this news one, you will notice, Gilbert, that the entire of the Comoran team is behind the ball while they're playing in their half at the moment. They're not venturing forward except when they are possession. It's pretty obvious that they are going to park the bus in the second half.
They will definitely park the bus and maybe try to play on the counter, because each and every one of them is actually playing behind that center line.
Mandela picks up the loose end where Ayub Tibe had tried to dribble his way in and was unable to. Here comes the Coalicans. Just a long ball that goes off the field of plays. What would deny them the chance to move forward? Benjalud Youssef just wasn't tall enough to get onto that one. So they'll be soaking in the pressure coming in from Harambee Stars. It's inevitable. It will be worth seeing what they'll do under pressure. I think Amada is already beginning to feel it. That was another quite unexpected shot there. Just off target, but with the power, Gilbert. Coming again from the youngster, Nyakea.
Well, he's doing a great job, Nyakea. He knows that the best shots that normally find the goalkeepers and awares is the long shots, and he's not far from trying. One of these shots might decide to go in, and just like he did against Zambia.
Yeah, but you're suggesting again that the ball might develop a mind of its own. What do you mean one of these shots might just go in? He's got to put it in, doesn't he? Yeah. Another big run to try and pick up possession from Kenya's Harambee Stars. Well, doesn't have good fortune on that one. Masoud Juma is the man who was trying to work the magic in there. Yeah, hasn't had much coming in his direction. He's had a long journey into football, Gilbert, coming all the way from Isiolo at some point, but at first he was denied. He had tried to make a comeback onto it, and yeah, should have given it close there to be able to have a better chance of getting it back.
Well, his back was actually on the goal, and there was no way that he's going to get that decision pass. But I like what the Kenyans are doing right now. They're putting pressure on the Comoros team, who are actually backpedaling for the first 15 minutes of the game.
Well, here they come then now, looking for that devastating through ball. Mandela will send it off the field of play for a throw-in. That's it. Well, he's played in South Africa as well, and bears the name of one of the statesmen in South Africa's history, Nelson Mandela. An attempt to bring a cross from the left side will result into a corner. The man from FC Annecy, better not too spirited as well. They want to move forward, but there's always that second voice that tells you don't go too far forward. So you're caught into that every time you're trying to bring the ball forward. Two men waiting there to be able to start it, and another one right in the middle of the field here, of the penalty area, waiting for any delivery that might come in that direction. Oh, there are 4 defenders who are eyeing that ball. It ultimately was touched out for a throw-in for the Harambee Stars of Kenya. Well, that's spreading it out to the right side, but just too long. Oh, the coach is told not to interfere with play here. Yeah, it's been told to calm down because he dummied that he was going to keep that ball. You know what that does to a player. I'm not saying that Eric was going to get to that ball, but you know, it slows you down.
He interfered.
Yeah, he interfered in play, and that usually would make you stop the move towards the ball. It's going to be a throw-in though. Youssef is the man who was playing it. Quick interception coming in from Joanna Omono. And then Youssef again. Well, trying to intimate that there was a foul there. The captain of the side, Amjuna, forced to pick himself up and continue with play because nothing was being given there. Or could that be Mohamed Yusuf? Yes, in jersey 19, that was Mohamed Yusuf. It's going to be a throw-in. Long ball down on the right side. You can see the urgency in the play at the moment. As Clifford runs away from his marker, brings it back to the center. One touch, the shot, parried off by the goalkeeper for a corner. Amara Ali. This man must be a gem for his team. Escape run Norway.
That's a good pass down the line on the right hand side. Good work by Clifford. Beautiful cross. On his right foot, Johanna Omono not able to put that ball where it's deservedly to go. Eric Johanna, that's an open chance.
Well, the goalkeeper had a touch on it, sent it out for a corner. Eric Johanna rather had placed himself well for it. But then again, there was a clear vision in the line of the goalkeeper. This man still manages to put the Comoros in the game and in the lead. As we play the 55th minute of the Africa Cup of Nations qualification third round matches. With, of course, Eric Chamberlain is slated for just 3 days from now, in which the Kenyan team, Harambee Stars, will have to make the trip to the Comoros Islands. Kenyan Gipchi. We've got others as well who are playing it out today, all the way from Group A. To Group L. We'll concentrate on this one for now. I'll give a chance to go for a shot, but too far away as well.
What's very evident, Bernard, that this goalkeeper is unbeatable from long distance.
Well, he's making it look so. He's stopping everything that is coming in his direction. And especially if it's coming directly to him. But kudos to him. You must give him his credit. He's been able to stop the Harambee Stars from leveling the scores here. Remember, it's Comoros 1 and Harambee Stars 0. A goal that was scored in the 27th minute by Yusuf Mchangama, who has since been red-carded for a second bookable offence in the 41st minute of the game. A yellow card that he didn't need to get, which really angered him. Good run by Timber, down on the right side, and the shot by Timber again. He didn't get enough power behind that one as well. Jacob Gosmula is watching this very intently, thinking that that should have been a goal.
Oh yeah, I mean, Timber has been the most resourceful person, especially industrious person on the Harambee Stars. He picks his man, turns him around, cuts back, and with all the time in the world, very feeble shot.
Well, he did get the power, and there are two other people who are asking, why didn't you give it to us? We're right here in the middle. Meanwhile, The Koala Cats have tried to get the ball onto this other side. This is tapped out for safety. No other reason would force you to send the ball off the field of play like that. And Joseph Akumu was acting out of desperation. What do you think Jacob is saying, Gilbert? You understand the coach's language?
Well, I think he's giving instructions that for the next 5 minutes they need to put relentless pressure onto the Comoros side.
But who's he giving that instruction to? The captain, do you think?
The player was very close to him.
Okay. Eric Uba is psyching himself up. And seems to have been the recipient of that message. This is going off the field of play already. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the Harambee Stars of Kenya. We're playing the 59th minute now. Obviously, the pressure would get to any side that is still trailing here. And for the Comoros side, they'll be feeling the pressure in a different way. They need to keep the scoreline that way for themselves to be able to go top of Group G. A win will give them, will push them further away at the top. They already have 4 points from 1 win and 2 draws, so they'll get 7 points if they win it. If Harambee Stars win it, they'll get 5 points and still go to the top of it. And that would inform on why the clash is of the nature that it is at the moment. It is a fight for the top. This one sent off the field of play by Burhani Yassin. So far, the only substitute that has been involved in this game. I hasten to inform you that now the teams are allowed 5 substitutes. There's a chance for Kenya's Harambee Stars now, cutting it back, looking for a turn. Might just be a little bit too late. The goalkeeper has tried to compose himself and push it out on the other side. But Harambee Stars exhaust. Looking for a chance for a shot towards goal. I think the striker was fumbling, wondering where the ball is. This is a hard one. Again, the goalkeeper, Ahmad Ali's hand is in that one. Pushes the ball, or at least deflects it from anyone who's expecting a shot or a chance for a shot from that side. And he has saved Comoros again.
He has time and again. It shows very clearly, it's very evident that the Comoros backline has a very, very tired legs. Or other way, Harambee Stars have decided to get into gear 5 and they're prodding that defense line 1 minute after the other.
Well, I know a good number of players in the estates who call this half ground. With the Harambee Stars pressing the Comoros side into their own half. Just how much pressure do you need, Gilbert?
Well, that's too much pressure. That's too much pressure, and this is where the defense will come.
Shouldn't they organize it as well? I mean, it's just a flurry of shots. Shouldn't there be some organization in the way you're attacking it?
That's right, Bernard. We've realized that there's those shots from far.
Here it is again. With the run from the left side. But that was too long a wait to be able to get the shot. The defenders were going to be.
This guy has received his paycheck today. I mean, it's really worked hard for that.
No, he doesn't get paid there. He gets paid in Norway. He plays for SK Brown in Norway. But he's really been able to save. That touch alone, changes the direction of the ball. And anybody who was setting himself up to be able to hit the ball in, then certainly can't.
Some little patience from Harambee Stars, little patience in that box, just some little patience where they'll find some space, time, and be able to get a beautiful shot in the ball.
Yeah, but give some credit to the Comoros side as well and say, well, some good work from the Comoros side, managing to stay in the game.
Goalkeeper.
Another chance coming to Harambee Stars. Oh, they're going to get the goal kick. Very well done by Burhani Yassin. He knew that he was being pushed into a corner to concede the corner, but he turns and pushes the ball back to the feet of the Kenyan striker, and the ball runs out of the field of play for a goal kick. So temporarily, that's pressure that was being applied to the Koala Cats of Comoros. It's eased up a little. Pushed up at the front by the goalkeeper. looks like they're contending that one goal. They're really not pushing out. They're not that successful like they were in the first half.
Yeah, but they're one man less. You don't expect them to push that hard. They are doing a good job of defending and attacking at the same time. So it's for the Kenyan Arabic Stars to know how they'll take advantage of that extra man. But the Comoros side looks like we're very well set to come to Nairobi from Comoros to try and get a win. Well, they already have showed it. Again, very many green stockings staying in the way of the red and white stockings to make sure that they're not attacking the goal. This is off the field of play. It's going to be a goal kick. It's going to be for the Coelicats of Comoros. Yes, it's those very desperate moments as well. Joanna Obolo clearly depicting it, gasping for breath as well and wondering what else do we need to do. Cleveland care as well. Seems to be feeling it as well. On the Comoros side, they simply might not want to be in a hurry. I think the goalkeeper is just supposed to push the ball forward because he will otherwise be accused of time wasting. But they're certainly feeling the pressure. Both sides, Gilbert, not just one side.
Well, one side wanting to equalize and the other one wanting at least to hold on to that one goal lead. And
which pressure do you think is more intense?
Well, both pressures. I mean, both teams are under pressure.
I think the pressure to try and equalize is more than the pressure to just make sure you don't concede. Because you can easily decide to get away with a draw, but then they're knowing here that they want the win. It comes around the stars again, and the push just takes the ball a little bit too far from the captain, Victor Anyama. And it doesn't get to the end of it. Yakea is the one who supplied it to him, controlled it, got past one marker, tried to go through three players of green stockings, and that was not going to work for him. There's a coach game, but at about this time, what do you tell the Comoros side if they were your team?
Well, at this particular point, it's 64 minutes on the clock. That means 16 minutes to go.
Yeah, 26 minutes.
6 minutes to go. Continue being compact. Okay. When you're in possession of the ball, try and keep the ball as much as possible and deny the start opportunities. But I think he wanted to show us something, but the cameras just didn't get to it. Here it is again, a little chip coming up the right side, and then it's headed into a prime position for Masuja to put it into the net. Scoreline has changed at the More International Sports Center, Kasarani. It's Kenya 1, and Comoros 1. That's not enough, Gilbert, to change the positioning on the line. Someone needs to be a superstar for either side to catch another goal. Someone must win. Someone must win because if the scoreline remains the way it is, then Comoros are on 5 points, Kenya on 3 points, but therefore they continue to stay on the top. So one team has to win this game this afternoon.
It's down on the right side with a little bit of a swell cross. That goes out for a corner.
Pressure by the Stars has yielded, and there is no doubt that with the continued pressure, they are definitely going to score another goal.
Yeah, but you're sounding very Kenyan.
Well, it comes from the proceedings on the pitch.
It's going to be a corner now. It looks like a left foot corner that a left foot in swinger that will be brought in by Eric Oda. But the Kenyan side, and touch again, and the second little touch from the goalkeeper that sends it away from the goal area. But the pressure still not yet on. This goes over the bar. It's going to be a goal kick. Well, Hamada Ali, the
This is the corner. Joanna, a little touch. The goalkeeper, another little touch. And ultimately, this one was too wide by a teammate to be able to beat the goalkeeper. But he's certainly feeling the pressure. Back into the midfield. Oh, again, this back footing puts Masoud Juma in a prime position there. Referee says nothing to it. That Masoud was not touched there. Okay, but there's no benefit of a VAR here, so let it be. Well, the referee just decides that there was nothing there, so. Kenya's side beginning a quick run. And then starting it out on the right side, Mandela playing it out, trying to look for the spaces. The green and white jerseys have come back into defense, all of them, but of course you see them running around in circles trying to look for the places to seam as the crosses have continued to come. And the shots have equally come as well. This is Johanna. Sends it down to Mandela. Plays it out to Eric Uma. Left foot crossed again, a little bit too low and easily intercepted, but not completely out of the area. This is going to be a foul, says the referee. With Owen Tibe complaining that there was nothing there. There's going to be another substitution then. They are putting out Ahmed Moni. Well, this is definitely a foul here. Watch the left foot of the captain, clipping Masoud Juma right at the end there. And inside the box, if there was a VAR, that would have been a penalty.
And the red card.
Here it is then. They're bringing in the man in jersey 2, Abdallah Mfoya Kasim. So he's taking the place of Moni, the man from FC Annecy, and who seems to have run out of steam at the moment in the game. And it also looks like there's going to be another substitution with Mohamed Yusufa of FC Ajaccio also being benched. Well, the teams have obviously taken advantage of the new rules with 5 substitutions allowed, and they're bringing in double substitutions every time. So Bakri Nakibu is also in the game. Well, Gilbert will fill us in just one moment on the new players on the Comoros side, including Bakri Nakibu. That brings in the fresh legs, of course, in the game. And so you expect things to change a little bit. The Kenyan side still maintaining faith in the 11 that started the game. We have got to the proverbial 70th minute mark. That's where most of the substitutions are usually done. And I've been told by enough number of coaches and technical people that it is at about this time that teams usually break in terms of concentration and in terms of lapses, which is usually to the advantage of strikers. So we'll see whether that proverb will be answered at some point. But yes, we're playing the last 19 minutes of the game in regular time in the CAF Total Africa Cup of Nations qualifier Group G match, with the return leg scheduled for just about 3 days, I think Saturday, in Comoros. Well, that would tell you that the competition is on a home and away basis. Oh, there's no one on this side in green at all. All the Comoros players are, staying in defense and just managing to stem back the attacks that are coming from the Harambee Stars side. There's an attempt to try and get the ball out. Oh, the referee says there was a final touch here by, I think, Ayub Timbe, who then sends it off the field of play. I think it's Kriknyake, actually. And so that sent it off the field of play. With another substitution on the Harambee Stars side. Eric Joanna had been benched. And his place has been taken by John Makwata. This man was a very late inclusion in the Kenyan team to replace the other lethal striker who plays in Japan on the Kenyan side and who couldn't come to the match. John Makwata has plied his trade with the Kenyan military side previously and then decamped to Zambia, came back to the country and went back to Zambia. Whether or not he'll have an impact for the Kenyan side up at the front is something that we will wait to see. So again, the Comoros side picks up a loose ball and a 3-on-3 is ensuing. Out to the left side, a very low cross that comes in. It's easily picked up by Brian Mandela. And goes off the field of play, it's going to be a throw-in. Was at Mamelodi Sundowns, was it Gilbert?
Mandela, yes. Mandela was at Mamelodi Sundowns. I think he's still there.
He's at Mamelodi Sundowns. We could probably previously say that he wasn't attached, but that was slightly before. So Gilbert, if your team is Kenya's Harambee Stars, then they've got one man extra. What do you tell them to do with the ball?
Well, have more people into attack, move more men into attack. That is what they need. They need more men into attack and to try and at least get those involved.
Eric Ouma then brings in a very low cross. It's intercepted and goes out of the field of play. One thing we must tell you as well is I think it's been a little bit slippery on the field of play. It's just something that slipped. The memory should have told you about that earlier. It makes turning a little bit difficult, and I think. Navigating that kind of terrain sometimes becomes difficult. There was a downpour earlier on in this area. Here is a chance for the Kenyan side, but it's clear on the line as the captain, Victor Wanyama, had a chance to slide it into the net, and he did exactly that, looking for style as well. But then the defenders clear it off the line. Stars still coming back. I can tell you, Gilbert, the expectation for everyone or what they're waiting for is to see whether Harambee Stars will take the 3 points here. But you must say the Comoros side is not the easy side, Gilbert. They are equally looking for the 3 points in this game, and that should be expected as well.
They're holding very well, and they're not in a hurry at this particular point, just knocking the ball around, trying to kill time, and trying to find this key to be able to break that tight defense line.
We're looking for a man on the right side, and Benaluja is the man who comes onto that side, tries to bring it across, but is intercepted, goes off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in, it's going to be for Comoros. Oh, very tired legs, I can tell you, especially on the Comoros side. They're just off the northeast coast of Mozambique, so they're a coastal side, and you can imagine they're even said to have very warm waters around them, so they obviously are getting a little bit affected by the altitude in this place.
They are very, very tired legs, especially in the second half. Not moving the ball as quickly as they were in the first half, and that's where Harambee Stars are actually taking the mantle and they're trotting forward.
Benjamin just unable to get the ball out of that area as Harambee Stars then try to come back again. Masood looking to find out where the ball is going to. The 2 men up on that side who are looking for this one. They can have an overload on the right side if they wanted to. Again, just a cross not very well delivered and intercepted, and now the Koalikans might just mount an attack here. They're doing it just within the numbers that they have. Just next to the referee. With Charles Ibrahim from Libya. Could have won it very easily. This is the earlier one. But the captain foot and slotted into the net.
Oh, the precision was there, but the power wasn't. I mean, not very good touching the ball. But you want to compliment that
Clear it out. He's been watching every striker who comes in that side, watching how they are going to deliver the ball on that side. That's the man in jersey 6, Abdulajib, playing for FC Mortik. As Rubber Stars get the chance to start it again. This is David Arena, pushes it forward on the line, on the right side, intercepted out for a throw-in. Just to let you know that it's the FIFA International Week, so a big number of the qualifiers will be played this week, midweek, and then over the weekend. The group that you will be most interested in is a Kenyan and a Comoros citizen is a Group G that has Comoros, Kenya, Egypt, and Togo. And Comoros are on top of that group. If this scoreline remains the same at 1-1, and the positioning will remain as well until, of course, we find out what Egypt and Togo are doing as well, because they could each, well, Egypt could get to 5 and Togo could get to 4. So depending again on the number of goals, Gilbert, you don't know which direction this can go to if the scoreline remains in.
But the only direction is that Comoros will definitely retain the first position with 5 points.
Well, if Egypt wins, they get 3 points.
It now means that they will have to count on the number of goals each team must score.
Well, if it comes to that, but if it comes to points, Egypt wins, they get 3 points plus 2, it makes 5, they go up to the top. It's just simple mathematics like that. But of course, that is just perhaps we have to wait and see if that happens. As the Rugby Stars still try to make inroads in the Comoros defense that is becoming stubborn by the day. And for a good reason as well. They are on top of Group G and they want to stay there. A trip towards the box. Masoud tries to control it. That will be a handball. That is... referee says that's very, very clear. Tal says, I saw you, man. I know that's a handball. You know, the handball rule is another rule that you really have to interpret correctly. There has to be the intention, and you have to look at whether the hand was in the natural position. It's not. You can see he brings the ball to himself.
Yeah, that's a clean handball. I'm not sure why.
And it's lucky because that is a yellow card offense.
Straight up.
Times have changed, Gilbert, haven't they?
They have. I mean, do you think that it's time for us to start introducing the VAR?
It's already in use, Gilbert.
Games like these kind of characters.
It's already in use. It's back onto the right side for Rugby Stars. I think it's Timber who was trying to run it down. Good cross here to beat the goalkeeper. No chance here. Oh, it still goes on the field of play. The referee says this is already a goal kick here. The goalkeeper puts his body in the line, literally, to stop John Makwata, who doesn't believe that he didn't put that in the net. A cross in a large one slips off the hands of the goalkeeper. Makwata just doesn't manage to recover in time to be able to push it correctly. Cross coming from David Owino. Yeah, Makwata couldn't get to it.
It had gone out. And this is the first time that we've seen a big mistake from Hamada Ali in the Comoros goal. John Mark Makwata should have easily collected that ball and put it in the net.
Making a lot of substitution and bringing in another very fast striker. Boniface Moshiri is coming into the game. I think there's also Abdallah Hassan was coming to play, but it's a double substitution, isn't it? On the Rugby Stars side.
They have decided to bring in more attackers. With Abdallah flying straight to the Bandari Football Club in the Kenyan Premier League. FKF Premier League.
I think it would be pretty obvious then who they should have benched, I think. And maybe Masoud Juma should have been among them, is he? Or is he not?
Yeah, presently I think Masoud Juma has been sent to the bench.
Well, this is going to be a cross from the right side, and this time round, no white jerseys, no red shirts on this side waiting for it.
I think it's Timbe. It's Timbe. Timbe.
Yeah, I think Timbe.
Yes.
I think has been benched. That should have happened about 2 minutes ago. And maybe Jacob Gosmulay thinking that Ayub Timbe was having too many touches at the moment. He doesn't need that. Here is another man who's just come into play as well, Abdallah Hassan.
He's a very, very pacey striker. Very, very pacey striker. And Gosmulay thinks that if he injects in some pace, he might be able to unlock that well-knit Comoros defense line.
Well, Mandela still playing it out to the right side, looking for a chance to go through on the other side. I don't seem to be able to place Cliff Nyakea in the game at the moment. Could he have been a recipient of a substitution as well? As Eric tries to run down on the left side. The usual tricks of having a back heel, they are very easily read and taken care of. Well, yeah, I think there is Boniface Mushiri who's come into play, and yes, I think it's Clifford Nyakea who's gone off the field of play.
Well, Boniface Mushiri ties his trade with Tusker Football Club in the Football Kenya Premier League. And also very, very resourceful midfielder. I think he's been brought in, he knows how to handle. I mean, he's got very good technique, knows how to handle the ball as they need him around the box.
Well, here is a chance for the Harambee Stars. This will be cleared off, gets just as far as Eric Oma. Oh, he's been bringing very low crosses. Interestingly, all of them have been very low. This one easily cut off as well by Abdallah Mfaina Kasim. So 4 substitutes already on the Kenyan side. West is headed out. Is off the field of play. It's going to be a goal kick. Comoros making another substitution. And it's going to be Baiz Matwa who's coming in. Who equally plays for Ajaccio. It's coming into play here for the side of Comoros. And taking the place of Rafidin Abdullah. With just about 4 minutes of play remaining. Desperation will be creeping into both sides. For the Comoros side, not wanting to lose it, a draw would be a good one for them to pick up away from. And for Harambee Stars also not wanting to lose this one, a win would be very good to pick up here at home. Once you move away, then different things and different issues come to play. This is out of the field of play. It's going to be throw-in for Comoros. Gilbert, just about 4 minutes, 3 minutes and a couple of seconds. What advice would you give either side of the team? Let's start with the Comoros side.
Well, they do know that with the way things are going, Harambee Stars will pick a point, pick 3 points from them if they are to score. And on the Harambee Stars, they also know that if they don't defend well, if they have to move numbers up front and don't defend well, it's very easy that they could get on the counter. So I think both sides realize that they need to keep their team compact enough not to concede this particular point, and maybe a point for them would be better.
Okay, but I'm going to have to leave you and go down to the touchline to take the rest of the country through the last 2 minutes of this one. I'll try to find out from the coaches what exactly is happening. Should anything happen while I'm on my way here, but please keep me posted. Thank you.
Thank you, Vedant. I'll take you through the remaining part of the game as Vedant goes downstairs to link up on other duties. Well, another very, very telling shot again from Owino, who has been very, very prominent when he came in the second half for Samuel Olwanda on the right-hand side. He's really been a pain in the Comoros lineup at this particular point. Well, Kenya still trying to knit passes together to try and at least get these 3 points. But again, very, very solid display for a Comoros side that looked tired in the second half, but again, it was very, very well. Juma Akumo trying to find Eric. That is Owino. Trying to find Omolo. Again to Victor Mugubi with the shot. Again, the defense line from Comoros holding up very, very, very well. Well, it's very, very tensive moments here. Very tensive moments for both sides. Harambee Stars wanting to take the 3 points, and Comoros at this particular point in time just trying to sit back and try to run the clock down. Remember, at this particular point, Comoros sitting pretty in Group G with 4 points, but as they stand with 5 points, another telling cross, but again the goalkeeper, Ahmada Ali, who has been absolutely fantastic, 29 years old, and the mainstay in this Comoros side, has really worked hard this afternoon and kept Comoros in a good state here. Harambee Stars have to recollect again in the next 3 days and go and beat the Comoros in the home yard. But again, still not relenting. Another good cross again from the right-hand side, and for a corner. Very, very important calls from the captain here, Abdul Najim. And again, Comoros wanting to make another substitution just in the 90th minute. Another corner by Harambee Stars. Well-footed ball, but again it's David Owino Calabar who plies the trade in Zambia. Again, another good cross there, but again, not very solid enough by David Calabar Owino in the FKF Premier League, and now playing his trade at Zesco United in Zambia. Going to the 91st minute on Mugubi. Victor Mugubi of the Kenyan side, tussling with the Comoros number 15 yourself. Number 12, the Homer Kasim, standing very tall. Afternoon, very pensive afternoon, the game flowing from one end to the other, and Kenyans still in attacking mood. That right-hand side has really caused problems for this Comoros side. And they slow the goal down. Akumu trying to go through the left-hand side. Not been lit on the final third, and that has been the mainstay, the biggest problem today. Well, going into the final minutes of this particular game, Captain Victor Mugubi plays the ball wide. Again, another shot, and still goalmouth melee, and Harambee Stars failing to utilize that opportunity. The game still in the Comoros half. Still in the Comoros half. And it's clear that Boniface Mushiri has brought a lot of punch, and a big tussle there between Boniface Mushiri
and Yusuf with a Jalud, and a free kick in a very prime area, about 20 line, and everybody from the Harambee Stars lineup going into that penalty box to try and see whether they can be able to pick something out of this very crucial free kick. Well, very basic moments here in the 93rd minute. Harambee Stars with an opportunity to redeem themselves in this game. Ushiri, till some goal might be lead. Another shot again, and the goalkeeper comes in very handy. Another shot again from Ushiri, and it's a goal kick. The referee calls for a goal kick, and the Kenyan players on the referee telling him, hey, you know what, that should have been a corner. Again, well floated there from Boniface Bushiri, and you must compliment the goalkeeper Ali for his outstanding performances in this particular game. He has kept Comoros in this game for the entire 94 minutes of play, and it's just a matter of time before the referee calls on the end of this particular game. But again, Kenyan players still mounting attack after attack, and another well-calculated cross there from the right-hand side. And the prime man there, Masoud Juma, not quite agreeing with the referee's decision. Again, that right-hand side has been very well organized for the Kenyan side as soon as they brought in David Calabawino. And with those telling crosses, trying to find the opponent, Masoud Juma. And coach Moore, at this point, wondering when this game will ever end. He's better off with the draw. And the referee has called this game to halt. He has called this game to halt. And of course, the Comoros coach in a very happy moment here. Very well done in this particular game. And coach Ghost Mule, who was coming back after 10 years, with the top scorer there, with the scorer of this particular game, Masoud Juma. And that man in your picture, the captain who has been very instrumental, that is Abdul Najim, has been very key for this team in the defense line, complimenting the keeper, Hamada Ali, 29 years old goalkeeper, who has really kept Comoros in the side. And Anadorigi, of course, with that blockbuster from the number 10, Mutal Yusuf, wasn't able to get a shot. Captain has been very instrumental. He played more of an attacking role. Victor Mugubi Wanyama, and at this particular point, they know that they've actually lost 2 points out of this one. And as things stand, Comoros still on top of the table. And at full time, Kenya won and Comoros won.